Hi, good afternoon, Fairview family. Eric Kincaid, Superintendent of the Fairview School District. I want to give everyone a little update here on what we've been working on in the district for the last several weeks, and just a little heads up of some things that may be coming your way as faculty, staff, parents, community members in the Fairview School District. It is June 17th, Wednesday. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon today. One of the difficulties that we've had in the last few weeks really isn't a lack of guidance necessarily. We've been getting a lot of information from the state and the Department of Health, but we just haven't had anything official to this point. Things are changing pretty much by the day, and so that's made it a little bit of a challenge for us on our end. But we are expecting some pretty firm guidance from the Department of Education by the end of this week. So my message today may change, but I wanted to give folks an update because we have been getting lots of questions. So you may or may not know this, but the state did require that all districts develop what they're referring to as a health and safety reentry plan. And under that plan, under the health and safety plan, all school districts are charged with creating and submitting 3 different potential opening plans to the state. And those plans are just like the colors that you're already aware of for our county: red, yellow, and green. So if school were to start tomorrow, for example, we know that in Erie County right now we're in yellow, so we would be executing our yellow plan. We certainly hope that we'll be in green by the time school starts, or maybe beyond green, whatever that color is. There isn't one yet. But because there's no telling where we'll be by the end of August when school starts, we are drafting realistic, workable plans for all 3 phases. That's our goal. That's our charge. I want to discuss some of the specifics in each phase. So in red, if we were to be in red, which we were in, as you know, to end the 1920 school year, we would be forced to close. We know that. All schools would be closed. All students would be learning online. Actually, teachers would not be coming into school. It would only be the essential employees coming into the building, just like we did in April and May and into June. We are putting plans in place right now that if we had to go into a red situation, that it would be much better than what it was before, and that's certainly a goal for us. But nonetheless, just so you know now, red would mean stay home, right? We know that. Food service would continue. We'd continue to feed all children ages 1 through 18 in the district using our online form that we've been doing. Yellow phase is absolutely the most difficult one to plan for. And that's because of the conditions that have been placed upon us in yellow. If we're in yellow, we're only allowed to attend at a 50% capacity to promote, of course, social distancing and decrease exposure to the virus. That presents a real challenge to us. Under yellow, we've sort of narrowed it down to 2 workable options, and I think this is probably where most of the districts in Erie County stand right now in talking with the other schools. But there's pretty much 2 workable options. The first one would be some kind of an AB format. In other words, we split our student body in half, maybe A through L in the alphabet, and then M through Z would be Group B. So Group A would come Monday and Tuesday. Group A would come Monday, Wednesday. Group B would come Tuesday, Thursday. And then, maybe that Friday would be a day where we could balance out the students who need to come, or those could be online days or something along those lines. That's yet to be determined. But the AB format, or we've called it an ABC format, is certainly an option that we have, and we're throwing that around and seeing how that works. Another option that we're talking about, if we're in yellow, which we hope not to be, would be a scenario where a certain number of kids come to school every day. So kindergarten through whatever that might be, the maximum that we could fit into the buildings under those conditions. We've talked about maybe kindergarten through 6th grade, maybe kindergarten through 7th grade, if we could squeeze that number of students in the building safely and still remain, have the social distancing guidelines that we have to follow. That would mean a couple of grade levels in the elementary school, a couple of grade levels at the middle school, a couple of grade levels at the high school. In that scenario, then K through 6, K through 7, whatever we would decide would come to school. They would come to school every day. And then the other grades, whatever it would be, 7 through 12, 8 through 12, would be learning in a online environment, similar, as we said, to what it was last year, but certainly better since we have much more time to prepare for that. In that situation, under yellow, transportation, we would be under some significant restrictions for transportation. For example, we'd only be allowed to transport 12 students on a bus at a time. They would be sitting one student per seat and every other seat. Those are the guidelines that we've received from the CDC. Food service would still continue. For the kiddos in school, they would still get lunches. However, guidance tells us that they can't eat in the cafeteria in that scenario, so we would be eating in classrooms or other large group instruction rooms where we can spread kids out safely and limit the exposure that students would have to one another. We do know that in the yellow phase that there would be a masking requirement. I know with some folks that's not real popular. That's probably not our choice either, but it would be a mandate that we would have to follow, where masking would be required of students and staff in common areas and on buses. Maybe not necessarily in the classroom, but certainly when the students would go to a common space like the gymnasium, the auditorium, or something along those lines, or even in the hallways when they're passing other students, masking would be required as we understand the plan right now. So there would be other accommodations in place under the yellow plan in terms of cleaning and sanitizing, et cetera, and we'll address those as we go. The green phase, if we get to the green phase, which again, this is where we hope to be, all students will attend school, K through 12, 100% capacity in all of our buildings. Our schedule would be a Monday through Friday schedule, just like our traditional schedule. Students would be permitted to ride the bus at full capacity. Lunch would be served. Again, we're in that situation. We're not permitted to use the cafeteria, so we would be probably providing some kind of packaged lunches, and students would be eating in classrooms and other spaces to keep everyone safe. There would be some, again, restrictions in place in terms of cleaning and sanitizing areas, and that will continue. So we as a district have the requirement of putting together this health and safety plan that has to be approved by our school board. It has to be advertised on our website, and we then have to train all of our staff in how to execute that plan effectively. What we've done as a district is we've kind of taken things a step farther. We didn't just want to create a health and safety entry plan committee, because that's very limiting on what you'd be discussing and what you'd be planning. So we took it a step farther, and we developed what we're referring to as a reentry task force. And in that reentry task force, we have 10 specific areas of concern that we're focusing on. Each of those areas of concern, we've established committees. Those committees range from 8 or 9 people all the way up to maybe 20 people on a committee. We have about just under 100 people in the district, different stakeholders, teachers, support staff, administrators, school board members, serving on these committees. And they've been meeting. Many of these committees have met multiple times already. Some have only met once, but they've all had at least one meeting. I'll tell you what they are quickly, but I'm going to share a document that gives you more information. Health and safety, teaching and learning. There's an athletics committee, a transportation committee, a behavioral health committee, a FAPE committee or equity committee, facility management, communication, food service, and health and safety. We're also establishing a cyber academy committee that I'll give you more information on in the very near future. So our district has decided to tackle the creation of these plans by identifying all these 10 critical areas of concern, addressing each one as a committee. Our plan is to have a working document in place to all of our district stakeholders, including faculty and staff and parents and community and students, by early next week. So maybe the week of, what is that, the week of maybe the 20th, 21st, somewhere along there. We plan to have this document ready so that we can distribute, so that you can see more specifically what we have in mind within each of these specific colors. We also plan to share all of the information from the parent survey that we conducted a couple of weeks ago. However, we've also found that as these plans evolve and you start to hear more about what red, what yellow, what green potentially looks like, we realize that we probably will need a new survey so that folks can make better informed decisions based on the information that they're provided. We certainly appreciate all of your patience and understanding during this time. We're navigating here through some really unprecedented times in society in general, but specifically in public education. I would ask you to trust that the plans that we develop will meet the specific needs of our community, but also we'll take into consideration the demands and challenges that each phase presents to our families. We know that families with young children, the thought of an AB schedule where your child only comes to school 2 days a week, and then you have a obligation to find childcare or something along those lines the other 3 days. We understand the challenge that presents, but we also understand the challenge that it presents for 7 through 12 or 8 through 12 students to stay home and learn in an online setting. So there is not an ideal plan in the yellow phase. We don't want to be in the yellow phase. We certainly don't want to be in the red phase. We want to be green. We want our kiddos back in school. We want our teachers back in school. We want our support staff back in school. We want our buses full again and kids coming. But we have to be wise. We have to follow the guidance from the CDC and the Department of Health. And by the way, just really a shout out to the Erie County Department of Health. I know that some people aren't real happy with where we are right now, and we'd like to be in a different phase. We'd certainly like to be green like our neighbors in Crawford County and even in Ohio are. But our Department of Health has been really wonderful with us in terms of relaying information and working with us on our plans and helping us to develop what we need to do moving forward. So we've had a great working relationship with them. We've had a great working relationship with our neighbor schools, the other public schools in the area. We're all trying to stay pretty much on the same page, but we all have very unique situations, and we're able to do, based on our situations, we're able to do different things, and certain things work well for maybe Girard that won't work well for Fairview, and the same is true with Mill Creek and Union City and Fort LaBeouf and other districts. Everyone has their unique twist. For us, space is an issue. We don't have the space in our district to spread students out and bring everyone back at one time. It's just not feasible for us. As you know, we're bursting at the seams at the elementary school. We have the biggest classes in the middle school that we've had in a decade, and the same is true in our high school. So we're doing the best we can with that. We have lots of very bright people in the district working on these plans, and we're going to come up with the very best plans that meet the needs of our community. I can assure you of that. Look for this document. The document that we're going to send out is very comprehensive. It has a breakdown of what red, yellow, and green look like. It has a breakdown of our education task force and all the specific areas that we're working on. It will show you the results from the survey, and it'll also give you information moving forward on how you can better plan for your child and your family for the 2021 school year. We hope to be back in school, but if we're not, we're going to have the plans ready to make the best of the situation and continue learning here in Fairview as you expect as a community. And more information to come. I didn't want to take 14 minutes and 30 seconds. I apologize for taking so long. There was a lot of information to get through. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Give me a call. Shoot me an email. You have my information here at the school district, kincaide@fairviewschools.org. Dr. Zona, Mr. Neese, Mr. Barnes are also available here at the central office, and any of our building principals will take your calls or emails and get back to you in short order, as you know they will. Thank you. Have a great day. More information to come. We will be shooting out this document to all of our families via Schoology next week. And again, if you have any questions between now and then, or if you have any questions once you get the document, don't hesitate to give us a call. Thank you. Have a great day.